On this episode of 7 Questions with Summit Quest, we have Yessie and Thiago joining us, and they're going to share a little bit about their story. They're going to use their voice to inspire and encourage others facing a similar journey. So our first question is going to be, who are you, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Yesenia. I was born and raised here my whole life in Rome, Georgia. I used to work for Harbin Clinic as a vascular ultrasound tech straight after graduating, and until recently, I've worked there until I had to step back to take care of Thiago, and we've been here our whole life, so it's a close-knit little community that we live in.
Sure. So now you have Thiago. How old is Thiago?
Good.
How old are you?
5 years old.
5. And you have one brother?
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Gio.
And how old is he?
Good.
How old is he?
Good.
How old is he?
8.
He's 8. So he's your big brother.
Yeah.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about how cancer has impacted your guys' family?
It's impacted us greatly because it's something that you hear about, but you don't ever imagine hitting close to home. So it completely flipped our world upside down when we got his diagnosis. I mean, I think fear was the biggest thing that we had because it's something that you don't know, like what's going to happen, how are they going to treat this, is it treatable?
And what kind of cancer? And when was he diagnosed?
He was diagnosed when he was 4 in March. He was diagnosed with hepatoblastoma. They thought it was a appendix problem, but upon further testing, they discovered the mass. Before that, he had no symptoms, so it was just kind of, we're lucky to find it when we did. And, ever since then, it's been a lot of doctor's appointments, treatments, and it's affected us, financially. And I will say spiritually, too, because, our faith is very important to us, but there's times when you get scared.
Sure.
You just don't know why things happen, why they happen, but they have to, I guess.
Sure. Your treatment plan, you said, you're going back and forth a lot to treatments. So Thiago being a young man, he can't have treatment here locally. So you guys, tell me a little bit about where you guys have to go and what that looks like.
At first, we went to Scottish Rite in Atlanta, Children's Hospital of Atlanta. That's where he did his chemo. He did 8 chemotherapy sessions until they found out that his tumor was inoperable because of the location. So he had to undergo a full liver transplant in June. Ever since then, most of our care and treatment is done at Eggleston. We have to go even for lab work, and it has to be done over there just because there's specific things that they look out for, and they get the results right away. And recently, we were hospitalized for severe liver rejection. So right now, we're kind of dealing with that. The plan for the moment is to go monthly for like a whole day's worth of IV treatments, and they added some more home medications for him to take daily. But the doctors, this is the most severe case that they've kind of dealt with personally, so we're treating it as a day-by-day basis. This is the plan, but if his numbers don't get better, the plan will change, and so we don't know. We're just taking it day by day.
Sure. So you spoke a little bit about some of the fear that has been brought into your life. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, he's just so young. At first, we didn't know where this was going to take us, what his treatment options were. And, it's the unknown, I guess, is our biggest fear, because at first his doctors were hopeful with chemotherapy there wouldn't be a need for transplant. And then next thing you know, we're on the transplant list. And then things were going really good, and then there's liver rejection. And this is kind of something that a transplant is something that we'll have to work with for the rest of his life, medication-wise. And, there is that liver rejection that could happen again and again. We just don't know, And I think that's our biggest fear, is just we don't know what will happen and when it will happen.
Sure. Now, the last time you said you were hospitalized, that was recently. You guys were there for, 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a long time.
He had 2 liver biopsies in those 3 weeks.
Jeez. So if there was somebody else that was facing a similar journey that you guys are on, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them?
To accept all the support that you get from family and friends. I know sometimes we don't want to burden others, or we don't think about it. We're like, we'll be fine. But honestly, you need all the support you can get from everywhere, because emotionally, it takes a toll on you and your family, and you need to lean on others. And that's why I thank God I have such a good community that has been with us every step of the way.
We're kind of jumped down to this question because it goes along with this. Can you give some examples of what those that are closest to you have done that have made a difference when they were offering support?
Yes, friends and family, when we've been hospitalized on and off throughout this journey, it helps a lot of when they help us with like meals. When we're in the hospital, they bring us food and stuff. That helps a lot. Or, being away from my older son and knowing that he's well taken care of down here by his grandparents or his dad, that friends and family that will offer, to help with anything they can with him, is also a big help, because I'm focused on him and I know that my son's taken care of too.
Sure.
while we're away.
Right.
So that's helped a lot. And family sending us a little money for like a meal or coffee or gas or
Sure.
stuff like that. It's a relief. It helps.
Absolutely. Because at this point, you're no longer able to work.
Yes.
You're taking care of Thiago
And-
full time.
Yes. And like I said, this journey just has been so unexpected. The plans were just for me to stay out of work until his 3 months were up from transplant, because we were hoping he'd go back to school, everything would go back to normal. Well, then we weren't able to, and then he had this liver rejection. So it's kind of like I don't know when I'll be able to go back to work, because he needs 24/7 care
Sure.
to look out for anything that could change. Thankfully, I was at home with him when this happened, and I noticed the slightest yellow change in his eyes, and the doctors told me thanks to that, and I got him in pretty quick, we were able to get to him before it got worse.
Sure. Now, what school, Thiago, what school did you go? Were you going to? You remember?
Remember your school name? Alto Park?
I do part
Alto Park. What grade are you in?
kindergarten.
Oh, man. That sounds like a fun grade. So now do you have to just do like your work at home right now? Is that what you're doing? Doing some school work at home? Maybe on a tablet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you see as the biggest obstacle that you guys are facing right now?
I have to say financially. We like I said, just I don't know when I'll be able to get back to work, and thankfully, I had a little bit of savings set aside, but not having any income now and the extra expenses we have with him, with the trips and just being hospitalized on and off again, it's starting to get a little hard. And then the unexpected expenses that are thrown at us,
Sure.
it's getting tough.
Sure. And you said like on a regular week right now, is it weekly or monthly for the checkups?
Weekly for now. They were thinking about us going twice a week, but they think once a week will be okay.
Right.
If anything changes, we will have to go twice a week. But for right now, it's weekly. But we also have his oncology appointments too. It's separate. He still has to be followed by an oncologist and his liver transplant team.
So sometimes there's more than once a week.
Yes.
And that's what, an hour and a half drive?
An hour and a
one
half
way?
with good traffic.
With good traffic.
With
So
bad
that's
traffic.
gas. That's wear and tear on your vehicle.
Yes.
That's meals. That's a lot.
And sometimes if we have to be there in the morning for labs, and then his appointment's not in the afternoon, and we have to be there like at 6 o'clock in the morning, so we have to spend the night
Right.
to be able to get there
To
that
get there,
early.
Sure.
And his medications, because they're specialized medications as well, we have to pick them up at the Walgreens in Atlanta as well.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of rough sometimes too.
Do you have anybody who travels with you, or do you have to make the trip by
I
yourself?
usually make it by myself.
Okay. So with all the stress and everything that you have going on, are there positive coping mechanisms that you use or that Thiago utilizes to kind of help you just, stay on this journey?
Going to mass for sure weekly. We have to. We say our nightly prayers. We go to mass weekly, and just being in touch with our family and friends as much as we can right now. Of course, we have certain precautions we have to have with him because of his immune system, but I think that helps us feel a little bit like we're normal,
Sure.
just being connected.
So family and holding on to that faith.
Yes.
If you had one message to give to the cancer community, what message would that be?
hold on to your faith. You know, sometimes we question things, but God knows the way before we ever do. And don't lose sight of that, and be strong, because we are resilient. He is so resilient, so strong, that he has helped me learn how to be strong and good in my faith. I think he motivates me more than anything.
Sure.
But just be strong and know that the storm will end, and there will be sunshine at the end of that storm, and everything will be okay.
Wow. Is there anything anything else that we didn't cover that you want to say?
I'm just extremely, like I said, thankful for my community, for you guys. The Summit, of course, have helped us tremendously. St. Mary's Catholic Church, you know, the transplant organizations, Ronald McDonald with housing. I don't know what I would have done without the support that we have had, of course, for him, from everybody from different states around the world, different countries that have, you know, prayers, which is the number one thing that we are so grateful for. So many people praying for us.
Sure.
You, baby?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we, at Summit Quest, we are praying for you guys. We keep you in our prayers. You are an amazing mother. You're an amazing inspiration. You have kept everything moving in the direction it had to go. And Thiago is just, dude, you are just one strong little man, and you inspire everybody that meets you. You know, the few times that I've got to kind of spend a little bit of time with you, you're an amazing young man, and just keep being strong. And you're very lucky to have the mom that you have, because you guys make a great team. Okay.
I do.
All right.
Do you want to say thank you to anybody?
I don't know.
Who helped you?
God.
To God.
Amen on that.
Amen.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for spending the day with us, and I'm sure we'll check back in soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey everyone, thanks for praying for me, and God bless you.